I like it. Doesn't like crosswinds and landings, though. All right, here we go. Time to fly. Success 5000. After the refinish, I actually had to move it a little further forward. All right, that's... Cool. Well, I think we're ready. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I might have flown it already. So I've actually flown it probably 8 times now, because what was interesting, so we've gone through and done all this work. I had flown the model, F9F Panther. I love Panthers. And so I had flown the airplane stock, and I tuned the gyro, tuned the rates and all that stuff. After the refinish, I discovered that the gyro needed to be retuned. And so I've spent a number of flights figuring that out. So I had to turn the roll rate, the roll gyro down, the gain, and the rudder gain down. And so I think now we've got it situated. This F9F Panther, the Freewing model, gone through and done a whole bunch of refinish work. We've kit bashed the entire thing. I put the speed brakes in here. We've got the flaps tied to body flaps, all new cockpit, all new canopy, filled in the panel lines, all new paint job. And there is one additional thing that I have added since the last video. And I don't know if you can see this, if you can come in closer. So if you see this white lettering here and over here, there's some back here. So all of that detail stenciling, I added to the model, and they come from One Man Army, and they are amazing. They're laser cut masking templates. It's like laser cut and tape. You put them down, you spray them with an airbrush, and you get perfect lettering. There's no silvering at all. There's none of that because it's paint. There's no decals, and it's way easier than the silkscreen masks that I've used in the past. And so I'm really excited about this stuff here. It opens up all kinds of possibilities on scale projects. So it's really, really cool technology, and there's gonna be more coming on that, hopefully, but we'll see. So one of the other things that I added is I ended up 3D printing, and this was actually in the video, but I forgot to mention it, but I ended up 3D printing an exhaust ring back here and this tail hook, the scale tail hook, and just to kind of complete this out. But yeah, I am super stoked with this model. I love how it looks. The color looks amazing. It's incredible though. This dark blue actually kind of disappears in this blue sky. Thank goodness for the white stripes, because out in the distance, man, I'm flying the white because I can't really see the blue that well. But it is time to get this model flown for you guys. I think I've got the gyro all tuned up. I'm super excited about it. Now, there has been a question on the last video about the weight gain. How much weight did this gain? And I will be honest with you, I don't worry about the weight gain when I do these foam refinishes, because the reality is, from my experience, you go through all this work, the models tend to fly better with a little bit extra weight behind them. And so they track truer because it's got a little more weight, it's got a little more stiffness with all the polyacrylic and the paint and stuff. You know, it's really not been a big deal for me. Now, it did add weight, and that final number is about 3/4 of a pound, maybe a little less than that. The model doesn't even know it. It's been interesting though, landing the model, and you'll see with the body flaps and speed brakes, I'm carrying like 50+% power. It gets super draggy, and I actually have to fly the airplane all the way to the ground. It doesn't really flare. I got to keep the power in and just keep that power all the way to the ground. Otherwise they'll kind of drop in because of all that drag. There's been a little bit of a learning curve there, but guys, let's go get this flown. We'll take it out to the runway. I'm super excited to show you the result of this little refinish that we've done. And so yeah, let's take it out to the runway. All right, here we go. It's a little breezy at the moment. It's mostly down the runway. Thankfully, it's gonna help us a bit on the landing. All right, taking off. High speed downwind. And it really feels really good now with the tweaks on the gyro. I had to turn the rudder gyro way down, the gain. It was imparting a roll into the model when it was bouncing around. You can see it moving around a little bit, but part of that is just the atmospherics. Got a bunch of trees around us. Ended up closing up the cheater because the model didn't need it at all. So it's nice and clean. Do a roll, pull up. Nice and axial. It's such a Panther characteristic, that straight wing. Play a little peekaboo with those contrails. Let's slow it down. We'll do a slow speed. I'm gonna do a 360 out there and drop the flaps and the body flaps. Drop the speed brakes. It's probably gonna bounce around a little bit, but I'm at about 40% throttle right now. All that hanging out. Bring the speed brakes up first, increase the speed, bring the flaps up. Love the looks of the Panther. Thank goodness for that white. Air show pass here. Such a cool model. The Panther has such a classic look. That straight wing and the tip tanks, and Freewing really did a nice job characterizing an F9F-3. They got the dehedral right, and most Panthers on the market tend not to do that. They usually end up with a really flat wing. Well, fun's over, timer's going off. Bring it around, we'll drop the gear. All right, turn it out, drop the gear. And then we'll drop the flaps. And then drop the speed brakes about right here. Right, there's not really any wind at the moment. I'm carrying about 50% throttle out there. Cool, I'll take it. Now the wind comes up. Now we get a little headwind after I've landed. I like it. It doesn't like crosswinds and landings, though. That's a wrap. All right, guys. Well, there is The Freewing Panther, the Refinish. I love this little model. It flies beautifully, and now that we've got the gyro all tuned in, it really does respond well with the gyro, the model does. And yeah, I think we've got everything working. We've done all that detail work, we've done all that paint work, and so now it's all about enjoying the model. I plan to fly this model a ton. It's small, so I can fit it in my car super easily. I'm stoked, guys. And so I hope that this series has been helpful for you guys. Truthfully, I love to build, but I really love the paint process and the finishing process. And so you notice I do a lot of that because that's really what I truly enjoy. Now we've got some amazing builds coming. Be sure to subscribe for that, follow along, be on the lookout for our next one. So I've got another quick win we're gonna do. It's just gonna be a single video. I picked up an SR71, Freewing SR71, because I had to. It's like, you know, a dream model, but I do want to do a little bit of paint work on that, and we'll bring it out, fly it, and talk all about it. Just one quick note, if you have one of these, I ended up going all low rates on everything, ailerons, elevator, and then the rudder I still have at full rate, but I've got a bunch of expo on it because it helps with the steering. If you have one of these, you're looking for rates, etc., but there was no mix required for the flaps with the elevator, which is really cool. Otherwise, guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to pick up my book if you haven't yet. Poured myself into that, and it is applicable to any medium of model, foam, fiberglass, wood, any of that. It applies to all of it. So be sure to pick that up. You can head over to artofscalemodeling.com to do that. Otherwise, if you'd like to see the last video in this series, you can see that here. Until next time, I'll see you at the field.